So, research shows that what the Bible says about couples, about like Adam and Eve, and like two people becoming one flesh is true. In Genesis, one of the first examples is we see how Adam and Eve became one flesh. We also see throughout the different Gospels and different accounts, like the books that Paul wrote too, where he talks about how when two come together, they become one flesh. And so Adam and Eve they become one flesh, and they had sex and bonded spiritually. When two people come together and have sex, there's a spiritual connection that happens. Two souls become one. They know more about each other than they have before. However, because most people view sex as purely physical, they tend to doubt the spiritual implications and stuff like that when it comes to this stuff because they can't see it, but the results later on, um, and how things can affect you, kind of end up proving that even though we can't see it, the results speak for themselves. And so we see how people they they might get with somebody and go out and do it, and then they leave. But then you see many people, the people who do that, they go around and they keep doing the same things over and over and over again, and they try to find new people and new people that were like the last one and the previous one, because sex isn't just a physical thing, but it's also spiritual. And when that happens, there are certain qualities and personalities and characteristics that end up like being exchanged between you and the other person, and a lot of people don't realize this, and this can even cause, again, people keep going after the same person, because the same types of people, because it can supposedly replace the person that they previously slept with. And 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 that's could be one of the reasons why you see people with certain types, certain people who, again, who sleep around a lot. They might have a specific type, and that type could be dictated by like a first encounter or whatever, their first time. And then you also see people who are also very committed when they do have it. They tend to, some try to end up coming back to that person because of what they had. They went, what they had was intimate, and they ended up being very intimate, and then they kind of bonded, and so they feel a sense of longing to where they have to go back to that person because of what happened spiritually. But again, people can't see that, but it's there, because if sex is just physical, then why do people still like want to be like, or like, why do they still feel a sense of longing if it's purely physical? Because when people have, or when people kiss, or when they hug, right, there really isn't like much spiritual stuff going on there, because it's not that intimate. But then again, when you do it, what happens is, again, there's like an exchange of spirits and all that stuff that ends up taking place between you two, and then and then two people become one. And this is why it's dangerous, because you're becoming one with everything that they have. This could be personalities, this could be STDs, this could be anything. And when you do that, it's always very careful to kind of know more and more about that person before you end up doing it, so that you know exactly what you're merging yourself with. I mean, again, this is why you see many people who end up getting married and whatever, doing it, whatever, getting with their partner, honeymoon, marriage, whatever, how they often, like, you notice that they end up kind of taking on a certain personality, and not only do you take on the personalities of people that you spend time with, but various personalities, thoughts, feelings, maybe even habits. It could be anything that you guys now share, and like pieces of you are left in each other, just to kind of, I don't really know about marking, but just kind of like, hey, this is like, we're committed. And research also shows that that people who like couples, people who are couples, that they typically have like a certain, like a strand or a piece of DNA that, like, in their genetics, where like it's actually like similar DNA. And this isn't really a coincidence, because, again, of the bonding and the spiritual, and also the physical. And but then before two people even come together, the people who have the best lasting relationships, or the happiest marriages, are the people, again, who have like similar DNA. I'm not saying the whole DNA, but maybe like a certain piece or something, a similar DNA that might cause them to be attracted to certain people or have a certain desire for different looks and whatever. And this just shows, again, how there are parts that there is such a thing called the one for you, and how the little things that are inside our body, genetics, or our certain likings, might come from our mother and father, but again, the happiest marriages are the ones that have that initial bond that can lead to different chemistry and things like that, end up creating the best bonds and like friend lasting relationships. So again, it's important to always, again, know what you're getting into and know exactly who you're getting with before you do it, because there could be a lot of mess and things that you could bring upon yourself that you didn't ask for. And you know, it can be uncomfortable for some people, but I mean, it's just reality. It's what happens. And many churches and people don't talk about this stuff, which it's very important to. But yeah, it's just it just goes to show how what the Bible says about a lot of this stuff is true. And I'm also going to post the articles and the links and stuff like that, so that you can check me on this stuff, make sure that I'm even legit, and then you can use your own judgment from there. Because I believe in free thinking, and I don't want to force it. I'm not forcing it on you. So yeah, waiting for the one is better than entertaining 1,000 counterfeits. So it's better to wait for the one, even though it's hard and there's many temptations. But you know, if you have all these different counterfeits, it could lead to different messes, and then different things about how if you're with this person, but then you don't want to be with that person, that could cause you to want someone who's not like that person, because you don't want any sort of reminders of that person in a new relationship. And it's kind of like a domino effect, like a ripple effect, to where it's like you push one domino and it's just a chain of events follow. So the Bible also says making the most of every opportunity. So it's like, you know, if you're gonna do it with someone that again, ideally godly, but just make sure that it's legitimate, and make sure you know who you want to be with. So that's it. See you guys later. God bless you.